Knowledge, so-called, is always a function of power, never objective, and always leads to error. The retort to this is to offer a counterexample where something is deductively true. However, even if something is deductively true within a given domain of possibility, it still engenders an insidious falsehood, insofar as its truth reduces the importance of other domains or possible realities where such is not true, or even if there is such a thing as universal truth. The very assertion of such a truth at any given moment in time, that is to say, their application in thought or conversation, is always socio-political, since assertion A, simply by virtue of its being stated at moment X, undermines and draws concentration away from an almost infinite number of other permutations or assertions or speech acts. To give a very succinct example, if I am to make the seemingly cast iron assertion that 1 plus 1 equals 2, I am simultaneously failing to make a statement about absolutely everything else. When I choose to say something, I am also making a choice about 100,000 other things, a billion other things that I could possibly be saying, but which I'm not saying at this very moment. In other words, if I'm now saying something true about apples, simply by talking about apples, I must suffer the opportunity cost of not meanwhile discussing the importance of oranges. So even when I'm saying something true, my truth is covering or losing the potential to express an almost infinity of other truths that I could be talking about. So there's always a cost to truth. Truth is never the whole truth, it's never complete. Hence, even when a statement appears true, or is true within a certain domain, it still inclines toward a greater falsehood, at a higher metalogical level, by blocking the range of all other simultaneously compossible discourse. That is in the best case scenario. Most commonly, in the worst case, not only are languages natural and non-natural used as a means of limiting the range and outcome of thought, but even within their own logical domain of possibility, the expression of opinion is generally wrong, or misinformed anyhow. To offer another succinct example, this is to say that a more common problem still than asserting 1 plus 1 is 2, which if true, is still either false or at least deceitful metallogically for the aforementioned reasons, but people commonly make statements of the sort that 1 plus 1 equals 3, which is false both logically and metallogically also. Language, as such, is just a tall structure of error upon error, which error upon error continues to be built and continues to accumulate. And even in mathematics, where the statement of facts, so-called, remains internally consistent with the statement of other so-called facts. For example, take the concept that the inverse of a function takes the range as the domain and the domain as the range. The very assertion of said function, to begin with, is an abrogation of a near infinite number of other functions to which attention is more or equally deserving. In a sense, therefore, the seeming consistency of mathematics and the sciences is yet more deceiving than even spoken discourse, insofar as it purportedly offers proofs which are solid, but which raise broader questions regarding their application outside of abstraction and in the real socio-political world where the use of such knowledge is financed and politicized. Take a more common and less abstract example, like the term low self-esteem. Modern psychology has developed an entire discourse and field related to the rectification of this problem, this supposed problem. Where I stand on the matter remains to be seen. Nevertheless, one may ask, is the very root of the problem with most individuals in modern-day society who are claiming low self-esteem? Is this a problem with said individuals, or is the problem in fact a psychotic level of high self-esteem? In other words, poor self-awareness and stupidity amongst the wider population. Insensitivity, in other words. Can we not equally say that anyone who believes and asserts their own importance around others is just as delusional, relatively speaking, as someone who believes they are entirely unimportant? The truth about such matters will ultimately rest upon the moral foundation of a respective society, be it Christian, postmodern, whatever. This is just another example of language built on language and error built on error.